It recognizes our belief in God, our country, not just individuals, our country, our founding fathers codified this in the documents that founded this country. Our reliance, our belief in God, and our reliance upon God. Of that, there's just no debate on that. You may like it, may not like it. Declaration of Independence, we find these truths to be self-evident, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, of which are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. It goes on in the Constitution to say we are putting together this Constitution in a preamble to secure the blessings, not only for ourselves, for posterity. And that Constitution followed with a Bill of Rights that enumerated those godly rights given to man, including the very first one, which was a right to believe in God and to express that belief anytime, anywhere, including the public square.
33 million. It's proven to the money investors that people want something to feed their souls, not just their worst desires.
Absolutely.
And
yes, indeed.
This kind of sums up my entire dialogue career on the heat of the night. You ready for this? Okay, this is it. My 7 years on the heat of the night. My dialogue all summarized in this. Get right on it, Chief.
Captain Skinner, but Bubba's my name. I like my iced tea sweet and my women the same. I'm your brown-haired badge here in little old Sparta, but nobody's bigger or tougher or smarter. If you're looking to fight, best not be with me. Gonna be held tight, well now we'll just see. You never know in the heat of the night on TNT.
Heat of the night on TNT.
Now I don't put on any airs, but then I ain't no slob. Just a redneck boy with a blue-collar job. The ladies I date, they gonna have 'em some fun, 'cause I'm a big hunk of crime fighting son of a gun. So if you're looking to fight, come on up in the ring. You wanna be held tight, just about anything can happen in the heat of the night on TNT.
Hubba, 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 hubba. Heat of the night on TNT.
Yeah.
It recognizes our belief in God, our country, not just individuals, our country, our founding fathers codified this in the documents that founded this country. Our reliance, our belief in God, and our reliance upon God. Of that, there's just no debate on that. You may like it, may not like it. Declaration of Independence, we find these truths to be self-evident, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, of which are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. It goes on in the Constitution to say we are putting together this Constitution in a preamble to secure the blessings, not only for ourselves, for posterity. And that Constitution followed with a Bill of Rights that enumerated those godly rights given to man, including the very first one, which was a right to believe in God and to express that belief anytime, anywhere, including the public square.
33 million. It's proven to the money investors that people want something to feed their souls, not just their worst desires.
Absolutely.
And
yes, indeed.
This kind of sums up my entire dialogue career on the heat of the night. You Ready for this? Okay, this is it. My 7 years on Heat of the Night. My dialogue all summarized into this. Get right on it, Chief.
This hour of the Alan Autry Show is sponsored by Sinlaw, the most realistic artificial grass in the Central Valley.
From NFL quarterback to Hollywood to the mayor's office, and now behind the mic at KXEX. This is the Alan Autry Show. No retreat.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
What the hell's going on out here? Everybody grabbing out there. Nobody. That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
So, 5 seconds left in the game. You believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable. We are live. We are
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX.
And welcome to Manic Monday. And you got some old dude here in Fresno feeling a little manic today, in the best sense of the word. After being mayor for, 8 years, being in Hollywood for 30 years, playing professional football, taking hits at Soldier Field for 3 years, man, my brain, I'm happy there's any brain cells left.
And then if they didn't fry it, you're in this Central Valley heat. That'll definitely fry. It is hot.
That is Guillermo Marino. If you haven't seen it on radio, you know that voice.
You know it.
4 o'clock today.
Yeah, 4
Let's
o'clock.
plug the
You're gonna be there too.
Oh,
Yeah, you are.
The old replay. The old instant replay.
But if it hasn't been played, can it be replayed?
That's a good point. In that form, you just adjust it a little bit. Just like they do these 90 Day Fiancé's First Look. People who watch that show, and it's a really popular show.
I
So
like
a lot of you.
That
You
first
watch that?
look really got me. I was like, why do you
Yeah.
have a first look if you got to have the?
Well, how about the ones with they it says on there when you look on the program, new episode, bonus scenes. It's the same
It's the same
episode you
thing.
saw last week with like 2 other scenes.
No. Do you like the one
Where
where
they-
there's another
where-
one where they take previous people and they just air the show
Yes.
and then they.
Boy, that ticks me off. Hey, I shouldn't even be here. You know what? I'm on strike.
Yes, you are. I bet you are. So explain what happens. So no one's acting.
I'm going to get in trouble with I didn't vote. I didn't know enough about it. The things that
Are you
they're
part of
arguing
SAG?
about- Yes, I can't work unless I'm in SAG. I just did a guest spot
They
on
couldn't get a
Tulsa
better
King
name.
and 911 Lone Star. Shameless plug there. Turn both of those shows on. Get them deep. It's a great world now for shows. You can just is it DVR now? Or you just
TiVo them.
TiVo
them.
them.
No,
Okay.
I'm joking. That's like 30
What?
years ago too.
Well, I don't know. Anyway,
DVR the thing.
you can just click on 911 Lone Star last season episode 10, and I'm in there.
I'm on the
Tulsa
Pluto.
King,
I'm on the
episode-
Pluto thing.
The Pluto thing.
They have a whole Heat of the Night channel.
It's on Pluto.
Yeah, Heat of the Night. The whole Heat. You're on right now.
Oh man, I tell you. Okay.
That's what I watch.
So I'm actually working, but not working.
Yeah, but I'm not watching yours.
Yeah.
I'm watching.
Well,
something else.
The deal is, I'm ashamed. Well, no, I'm not ashamed to say. I've been busy. I've had, the last 3 years, I didn't familiarize myself with the issues going on there. But I guess it's for streaming residuals, and they were cutting the actors completely out of that. I mean, these fat cats over there running these studios.
Actors or the writers?
The writers and the actors.
Oh.
I mean, that was all studio money because it just came out of nowhere, the streaming. They didn't realize how much it would make, and apparently it made a lot. But now the studios have expanded so fast, everybody's got a streaming. Paramount,
Yeah, they all do.
Plus, Disney Plus, Discovery Plus, boom, boom. And now they're kind of losing, they say they're losing some money, but they call a $200 million profit over the preceding year a bad year. Yeah, that's the movie studio executives. Oh man, we're really killing it. So bad, we're getting rid of the CEO that we had. You see that? You go with Warner Brothers someplace. Gave him like a $200 million golden parachute.
Oh, that golden parachute. I've been trying to find one of those for.
Man.
I don't think I'll ever find. Let me ask you this for us lay people that aren't even. That I'm just lucky to be next to an actor. What about us common folk?
You're the best actor I've ever known in my life. You just haven't got paid for it yet. You will. You got to be in our next movie, you know.
I hope I'm in the next movie.
You don't even know that yet. You're going to be in my next movie?
I'm excited. So for us common folk, the residuals off of is it big money? Because if I was Hulu, right, and it's an older show, and you pay them by a certain fee, or is it per like watch? Because you pay Hulu's like I think they just pulled out of my account $23, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I watch two episodes maybe in the whole month. So does it work to where, like a little bit goes to Hulu, a little bit goes to, is it preset? You get more money if more people watch?
Those streaming services get it by two means. Subscriptions, and then now they're going back to ad-driven revenue. Like the old days, we had commercials. Yeah. That was the big calling card for HBO for many years. Watch us because we don't have commercials. And now they've done a smart thing. They're bringing in that ad revenue, which they need because there's, people are cutting the cord, as they say.
Yeah.
Starting to get rid of this stuff because there's only so much Netflix you can watch, HBO you can watch, and that $23 a month they see coming out. And you say $23 a month, well, that's what, $268 somewhere around there a year. And you start adding up the little cuts and slices to your budget, and that's a significant amount of money. So they're starting to cut the cord, and they're bringing back this ad revenue. And in answer to your question, when Hulu picks up like Heat of the Night or a show like that from the past, people still want to watch it. I mean, it's like Seinfeld. I mean, a lot of people they've seen it 10, 15, 20 times.
And watch it again.
They watch it again. It makes them feel comfortable. They like the show. They like the characters. And they have sponsors. So you don't know what those sponsors are paying them. You're getting the show pretty much dirt cheap. You certainly don't have to pay for the show like it was when it was first run. Okay, so they get the shows pretty cheaply. I still get residuals on Heat of the Night. For me, the way I was raised out in the fields, a significant amount of money.
Yeah.
Compared to me, but not to Jack Nicholson or George Clooney. I mean, come on, they live in Casa Residualis.
No kidding.
They have them all over the place, but just bought with residuals. But that's the two. But the streaming thing, as if you've done it right, and Hulu, you mentioned, has done it right. They cut costs. They're like the Costco of streaming. You know, Costco, what they do? Did you hear about that?
No.
They only put things out there that sell. And there are no frills. You won't see some big spokesperson for Costco. That's their model. They put it out there in bulk. There are no frills. You walk into the stores like walking into a warehouse, right? There's nothing fancy about this.
I'm just not a big fan of Costco.
But this is their model, and it works.
Yeah.
And they keep track of it. And if it stops selling, it's off. Boom. The latest product that has stopped.
Bud Light, right? I did hear about this.
Well, they had this insignia, a star. And it's called the Star of Death. And when they see it on the product, the stockers of the shelf see the star on a product, that means its last days on the shelf are coming.
Man.
And they saw it on Bud Light. So Costco's gotten rid of Bud Light. Well, Hulu does the same thing with if it's people aren't watching it. But then they'll keep it around because there are no frills. Now, they've got some celebrity spokespeople that will come out. But anyway, that's I'm a scab.
You're a scab?
I crossed the picket line. Coming in here, that imaginary picket line. But also the big thing is artificial intelligence. You know what those studios want to do? They want to take these poor background actors who are trying to make it in the business. Some people call them extras. And there's been cases where an actor started their career as an extra and then graduated into a little bit part. Somebody gives them. What happened on Heat of the Night? We had a lot of. They got their SAG card, started as extras. Carol liked them, did a good job, let them have a line. And if you have one line on a SAG film, you can get in SAG. But the catch is you have to say a line in a SAG movie before you can get your SAG card, and you can't get in SAG unless you say one. You can't say one unless somebody gives you a part. You can't. They won't hire you, a casting director. It's just like it's such a incestuous, nepotistic business. Carol O'Connor gave because they have to pay a fine like $400 or $500 to SAG to hire you.
So if I get a movie part in your movie, I'll be it.
No, I can waive that.
Oh,
so I don't know after being a scab. I don't know what my reputation is going to be like.
So I'll never be in SAG.
Well, yeah, if you do the movie.
Yeah,
see, let me tell you, when this thing ends, probably in a few months, SAG is going to make a lot of waivers on things. Used to be you couldn't make a movie if it wasn't a certain budget, like over $1 million. Now you can make what they call micro budgets and be SAG signatory. Okay. But we're getting deep in the weeds. We have something really
I just
important.
want a SAG card.
Well, gosh, I want a Maserati. Who's likely to get one first?
Yeah, I don't know.
Get their wish first.
So I'm going to have you call my agent. You can't deal with me directly. You got to call my agent.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, producer, he's going to be calling you soon.
What?
I want a lot of money.
Who's your agent? Jim Patterson? He's looking for a job now. I didn't know that you signed with Jim.
Too soon.
He's tough to deal with.
Too soon.
Okay, before we get cousin, I'm a scab here. We got the cocaine, mystery. Cocaine gate still will not go away. But you have something really, really important that just trumps all of the stories out there. It has to do with the war in Ukraine.
It does. And normally your show, we pride ourselves and we don't tell the talent what to do. Those are cheap waters. It's all we can afford. Because I'm not a member of SAG yet. So essentially I said, you know what, Alan, I've never told you what I want you to talk about. But today's going to be different. I want your show to go in a different direction because I got this late breaking article here that I think the people need to know about. And we really want to make sure that we bring our listeners the up-to-date, the minute. I mean, and sometimes we go and we do these investigative reports where, you have your man on the street. We haven't heard from him in a while. Scoop Johnson. Yeah,
Scoop Johnson's over there in Kiev.
Scoop might have sent this to me because he wanted me. I think
he's got to stay anonymous.
He did.
Putin's hot on his trail.
He did. So this is if Ukraine wins the war, I want to be very clear.
And this is for a press release.
Read my lips. And it's pretty credible. It's from the website, internet. Read my lips. If Ukraine wins the war, it is going to be because of this. What you hear today. Ukraine women. Here we go. Ukraine women flash helicopters that fly over to boost morale. That's right. A Ukrainian helicopter crew.
So what?
So women are showing their.
You said flash it.
Flash it.
That's what you said?
I mean, flat out just flashing.
To Ukrainian pilots.
The pilots.
In helicopters.
Helicopter that can hover.
They're
hovering like 15 feet off the ground because they got to stay below.
As they
flash. So you could, because I'm like, they're getting flashed. So you can't see anything. But
why are they doing this?
Because it boosts morale. In fact, these Ukrainian pilots are saving the GPS locations of where this happens to be able to go in the same direction.
See, I don't understand that. Did they really want to win the war?
Well, yeah. This is
if they're one of those pilots, and you're sitting there hovering over a topless Ukrainian babe, and then you got to say, "Excuse me, I got to go to the front line and get shot down by a surface-to-air missile." I wouldn't want to go there. I'd land that sucker and say, "Let's go get married."
Oh, funny you mentioned that. Here we go.
What?
One woman even proposed marriage to them by holding up a sign,
and he said no.
Well, I mean, he had a mission. He had his like Top Gun here stuff.
I don't know about that, man. You're going up there and you're starting to dive bomb into the Russian entrenched forces and you're thinking about that Ukrainian.
You'll do a better job.
No,
because you want to get back in that direction.
You're not going to get too close to that fire because you know what you're not going back home to. You get too close. You talk about. Oh my God!
Oh, here we go.
How old is there? An average age of the Ukrainian pilots?
No, but they're dropping.
As it would matter.
They're dropping.
I'm thinking it's probably young. No, it'd be old dudes there. We've down here.
Well, here's what they do. They see an elderly.
How would they say that in Ukrainian?
Yeah, I don't know. If they see an elderly woman or an elderly man, they just they throw bottles of booze.
Who throws bottles of booze?
The pilots.
If it's an older woman, flashing them,
to boost morale.
Do the old men flash them?
They've recently thrown a bottle of cognac wrapped in a towel to an elderly man they spotted in the war-torn landscape.
No, wait a minute. What was the old man doing?
Just out there.
Oh, now come on.
He's in a war-torn landscape.
And one of the pilots threw some
bottle of cognac.
No,
that's right. It's in the story.
But the old man had to be doing something. Was he flashing them?
Hey, there might be female pilots. I don't know.
But come on. That is legit there.
It is. It's from www.businessinsider.com /Air Force crew says women flash them as they go by. This is as This is as real. Look it up, Jack.
So they think that's helping them win the war.
Yeah, it is.
So in the budget, in the $98 billion we've sent them, some of that money's being paid for paid flashers. I'm saying.
Yeah, we're getting a little detracted. Yeah, good GPS signal. Remember where
with Biden, it kind of makes sense.
It does.
I hate to say it.
Hunter Biden says, "Hold my beer. Have you gone to coordinates 36 West? Go to there."
He's probably he said. Zelensky says, "I need ammunition, not a ride." Biden's probably saying, "I don't want him wearing ammunition. I want to ride in one of those helicopters." Can you land this sucker? Because I haven't sniffed air in about a year.
Hold on. Did you hear the story I did about the
that is just what a bizarre.
Oh, it gets better.
Wow.
Were you here?
Wow.
Or were you listening when I did the story about the liberal couple in America that accepted a Ukrainian, essentially babysitter?
No. Does it have if it has flashing in the story, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
Is it naughty?
So no. Well, I mean, it depends. Let me just go. I'll give you
nothing's going to stop
the
you.
2 minutes. The two. It's like free for all. I won't be here for free for all Friday, so this is my free for all today, Monday.
We keep going down this path. We're not going to be here any day of the week.
that's might be a possibility. So this liberal couple. I got to tell you the story. This liberal couple.
We have Jim Franklin reruns constantly on here, yelling and screaming. I love Jim.
I do. Jim's going to text us. Yes. So the liberal couple wanted to do their part, right, in the war, and then and the female is as liberal as they come, and the husband's liberal,
and they're Ukrainian.
No, they're American.
Okay,
in the United States,
and they wanted to do their part for the Ukrainian and Russian. Okay,
for the effort, and pretty liberal, and so they opened their home to a Ukrainian woman. All right, now the liberal wife, and this is a true story. You can look it up, Jack, and she didn't cook, she didn't do anything, right?
The woman let the Ukrainian guest woman into the house. Okay.
Yeah, you know where this is going, right?
Oh boy,
you know where this is going, and the man works hard, right?
Okay,
so he'd work
away
hard.
A lot,
huh?
Away a lot,
a lot.
So
he's working hard, and he works the night shift. So he comes in the morning, and the Ukrainian female that they've opened their home to, she made him food as soon as he gets home. She sits there, listens to him, listens to his day, and a couple of weeks go by, and she does it every single day. She does it every single day. And soon enough, the man says, "You know what? I think I'm really going to support the war effort and give this gal more of my heart and my life." And he ended up splitting from the gal.
No.
Yes.
I never thought that would happen. Ukrainian woman moves in, waits on the man hand and foot.
Yep.
And the husband decides he's going to leave his wife with the Ukrainian one. That's unbelievable.
That would not happen in a conservative household, let me tell you.
It would never happen in a conservative household. What was she thinking, the wife?
Hey, she want to do her part.
Yeah. Oh, God. Gosh. Oh, my.
I'm sure
that's a different. I'm having a list to prove, and I'd like to do it before you go this, or you won't be here for Friday, to prove to you that everything's political. Whether you know it or not, you have an answer to any scenario, whether it's liberal or conservative. You can make a decision that's a liberal thing that's done or a conservative thing. That's a liberal person would do that, or a conservative person would do that. In every single thing, whether it's right or not, it's a different story. But you have an opinion. Almost everybody does out there right now, and I'm going to prove that. I proved it to myself, and I'm going, wow, I've let politics infiltrate everything, every thought here.
It does.
It does. But anyway, and that's a true story as well. You didn't make that up on the spot. If you did, that was a lot of time spent.
No, it's a true story. Happened last year. Year.
And they're liberal. How do we know it was liberal?
It's in the story.
It was on Fox News?
Yeah. No, it wasn't on Fox News. It was in the story. She was pretty liberal, like one of those free spirited. Okay. I'm a liberal. Climate change.
Well, that's
earthy.
the question. Did she get a good settlement? Maybe that was a plan all along by the wife.
Maybe she wanted to get rid of the guy.
Get rid of the guy. File for divorce. No. I guarantee there was no prenup. So she comes in there and cleans. See, you never know.
They've had some of those Ukrainian women on that 90-Day Fiance.
Yes, the Ukrainian women are in general fairly pleasant to look at. I think anyone would say that.
And their pilots would say that too.
But I think to say, man, I tell you, think that's going to make them more brave. Let me go. I'm really going to try to get killed now.
I don't want to ever go back to what I just saw. What I just saw, Kev, when I left that helicopter, I'd never want to see it again. I'm just going to go kamikaze here on the Russians and fly my helicopter right up Putin's rear end. I mean, I don't know about that. Okay, let's take a quick break. We come back. Joe Manchin is considering a run as the No Labels. On the No Labels. You know No Labels has a party?
I just saw that.
No Labels. I didn't know that was around. But what will it do if he decides to go there? I predicted this many, many months ago that he may jump in. Looks like he's going to do so. This is Alan Autry, No Retreat with Guillermo Moreno. We'll be right back. Oh, man. Oh, let's do this for our Facebook folks. You got that picture. I'm going to show you. I don't hate too many people. I can say, I don't hate. But this guy on the screen, is that on the screen right now for Facebook? It's not. I hate this guy.
Who is it?
You know who that is? That's Jerry Turner. I don't hate, I'm totally against what Putin did. I don't hate any individual. That's my faith. I hate what he did. But this guy I hate. You know who he is? He's going to be the star of the new Bachelor series, the senior version. You know why I hate him? That guy you're looking at right now is older than me. He's 71 freaking years old. I'm 70. I won't be 71.
He doesn't look older.
Huh? He doesn't look older than me. He has no business looking that good. I just hate him for looking that good.
How old is he?
He's 71.
And this is The Bachelor.
I'm 70.
The one with the
I got
rose.
a face that's worn out 2 bodies, and I look at him, and you can tell he hasn't had any work done. There's none of that like snake look pulled real tight or anything. That is him.
That photo's Photoshop.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. Come on, look at that.
Is it artificial intelligence, maybe? Well, we'll see, because he's going to be starring on the show.
The Bachelor.
The Bachelor. And he was married for 43 years, and his wife passed away.
Aww.
So I'm just kidding. I don't hate him. Of course I don't hate him. I'm just saying, man, he needs to kiss his mama. And they're obviously not still living, but man, the genes, the DNA on this guy.
Listen, at 71, what's the age to get back in the ring? I don't know. You're 71.
Get back in the ring. I never left
1 minute?
Well,
I'm still in the ring.
I know, but
when did I get out of the ring?
When is it too old to get remarried again? He's 71.
I don't think I could ever get remarried again.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
But you never know. You know how to make God laugh? Tell him your plans.
Yeah, no kidding. Hold on, what are the age group of the women going to be?
65 and older, to show that love
I love it. I'm watching
no
now.
expiration.
I hope they get a lady that's like 90.
Well, you know what I hope they don't do? I hope they don't get on there and start trying to act like they're in their 30s or 40s.
30 seconds?
Oh, that would be
make nasty remarks.
Go to Vegas.
Oh, you see that?
They should not be doing trips to Vegas.
Thing, kissing, lip lock in front of everybody in bed. Yeah, exactly. Hold
on, sweetie, my dentures went in your mouth. I'll get those back.
Oh, yeah, bring on the old man joke. I just bring them on, Guillermo.
10 seconds?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm getting up there, too.
Ask me what I'm going to do tomorrow. All right. Oh, it depends.
You remember?
5 seconds?
Yeah, okay. We're going to go back on radio now. You're mean.
This hour of the Alan Autry Show is sponsored by Simlaw, the most realistic artificial grass in the Central Valley.
And welcome back to Alan Autry No Retreat Manic Monday. Boy, that first segment
that went off the rails.
And Simlaw, hey, you're looking to have some new grass put in your place. Don't spend it on this real stuff. It'll just break you. You can't use enough water. You'll get a notice from the city that you used too much water. They do some things with this artificial grass. I defy you to see the difference between the grass. You go out there, examine, get the magnifying glass. Okay, maybe, but this stuff is really, really good stuff. And don't. It's artificial grass. Don't try to smoke it. It doesn't come in its dispensary. You won't find Sinlon dispensaries anyplace. This is artificial grass meant for your lungs. Where all grass was meant to be, not between your lips, sucking it into your lungs, breaking your brain go crazy. Okay, let's. Joe Manchin considering a third-party run. Oh, wise and wondrous one, otherwise known as Guillermo Moreno, give us your calculus. What? Number one, will it happen? Number two, what effect does it have on the election? Let's say first the scenario pits Biden versus Trump? Give me your little analysis.
I mean, overall, if it's a Trump-Biden?
Yeah, what does Manchin, like, you're too young to remember, but Ross Perot.
I remember Ross Perot.
Well, you wouldn't have had Bill Clinton's president when Ross Perot. They've irrefutably analyzed that and came back absolutely by every analysis. George Bush would have won if Ross Perot wouldn't have run the race.
You can have, I believe right now is ripe as it wasn't during that election time to really have a strong third-party candidate. It's just not going to be Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin is up for re-election, I believe,
He's
this time
at the
around.
No Labels convention.
Yeah,
had you ever heard of No Labels before this?
I've never heard of it. No.
Well, not to be confused with Garth Brooks' album No Fences. I'd No Labels. I guess they have a little organization, and they're not either Democrat or Republican or independent. And he's speaking there.
I've never heard of it.
He's speaking.
They probably just got formulated a couple weeks ago. Joe Manchin is up for re-election, I believe, this time around, and I think he's got a tough re-election coming up. So I know he's probably doing it just to raise money and just to make sure that he's going to be safe. That man has no intention of running as a third party. Have you heard him give the reasons why he's still a Democrat? It's familial. I mean,
So you think he's just why is he doing this?
For money. But why does any politician do most of the stuff? For money. They want to fundraise. They want to be able to keep their current status quo.
But independents historically have not raised a lot of money. Bernie Sanders hasn't raised a lot of money.
Yeah.
Well, no, but independent, you'd think
True.
There's a lot of die-in-the-wool Bernie fans out there. I mean, it depends on what you mean by a lot. Significant amount of percentage that are going to, just like Trump, they're going to be Bernie to the day they die.
Yeah.
Because, his purity of purpose as a liberal, where Trump's purity of purpose as a conservative.
Yeah, no, Joe Manchin.
As such.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this.
No.
If he runs, just say if he runs. See, I think they may have this backwards. Everybody, I was watching the news last night. All the talking heads. Oh boy, the Democrats are scared to death. The Democrats are scared to death. That Joe Manchin is going to flip to Republican. Now, I think that's a legitimate thing to be concerned about if you're the Democratic Party, because immediately you balance out the Senate.
Yeah.
Okay. If he flips, it's a whole different calculus in the Senate. But here's where I think they may be missing the boat. Joe Manchin, because he stood up. Biden has stood up to the woke left and called them out, who's not 100% behind that fossil fuel is the only cause of climate change, because he keeps an open mind on things. He's become somewhat of a pariah to many in the Democratic Party. Okay? Not all, but some. He gets reelected in West Virginia, which Trump carried by like 69%.
Yeah.
Joe Manchin, a Democrat. You won't find a more Republican red state than West Virginia. So does Joe Manchin actually take more Republicans, moderate Republicans with him if he runs a third party candidate? Could he not wind up hurting the Republican candidate more than the Democrat candidate? How much would he pull from the Democratic Party? The centrists that are saying, hey, I love Joe. I'm going to go with Joe. And even though I know this could give the election to Trump in that case, would they go with Joe knowing that could happen? They could give it to Trump. Do they love Joe more than they don't want Trump?
Do they love Joe more than they don't want Trump? I'm looking up the electoral votes of West Virginia because it's so small. It can't even be that much if you were to actually do. But
he's built. He feels. Let me tell you, I don't mind saying this. I don't want to say it anywhere. You really, folks out there, God, bless your heart. But those out there that you can't say that Ukraine was a corrupt country without being called a Putin apologist and supporting Russia invading Ukraine, you silly, sick thinking people. Whatever party you're on, and there's plenty on the right. You just haven't met a war you didn't like. America throwing their muscle around for really no reason. We did that in Vietnam. Okay. We also did that in Korea. And we didn't stay for as long as it takes. Okay. And so when I sit here and say that I admire Joe Manchin, doesn't mean I agree with everything Joe Manchin has done. His position, even on the climate change, even though he's pro fossil fuel, he's got a lot of things that he supports that I don't agree with, but I respected when he stood up to the party and did not pass that $10 trillion Green New Deal thing. Do you realize him and Kristen Sinema, but mostly him, was responsible for stopping that? You think you see inflation now? If it wasn't for Joe Manchin, have you forgotten?
That's a good point. I'm glad.
I'm okay to say that I admire Joe Manchin. And that's why I'm an independent. The Democrats hate me already because I believe in individual rights. I'm pro-life. I believe in small, non-intrusive, non-oppressive government. I believe in a secure border. I believe right in life. I believe in the Second Amendment. So you hate me already on the left just because of that. And you people on the far right hate me because I know I've been marked off of lists. I'm not going to speak at the Republican Central Committee. Why? Because I've said something good about Joe Manchin.
You're not missing much.
Okay, I mean, I love a lot of friends, and I'm not going to take the Senate Committee and wipe them away and say I don't respect them. There's things about them, a lot about them, I respect. But I was taught to be a free thinker. I wasn't taught to say, hey, you're because you're part of this club, you're part of this fraternity or sorority, that you don't even discipline your outcast, your idiots, your doofuses, your knuckleheads, because you think you're going to be you protect them like they're protecting Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, all of this nefarious activity that Democrats do. You're no different than them. And you folks over there at, I think I was a slip. You folks, I think I might have said something else. I didn't mean, that's not what I meant. I meant to say folks over there. That I think it was last night at the Turning Point Convention, Charlie Kirk, a fine, upstanding Christian young man, respect this guy so much, and his Turning Point organization based on faith. You have Asa Hutchinson running for president. Shouldn't. It's ridiculous. I don't agree with him at all. But you sit there and boo him off the stage. What's the difference between you and that radical college crowd that boos John Hannity out of a university? You know what? There is no difference. You should let the man talk. Let your stone silence and no applause send him the message, because every speaker has applause lines built into their speech. Just don't applaud. You know when that applause line is there. But go ahead. I've been wanting to say this for a long time. Let me tell you, I'm going to go to my grave. I'm never going to bow down at the altar of any radical element of a political party or a community or any in society. I just won't do it. I hate to say this, but I'm my own man. I make up my own mind about things. And I will call out what I think is righteous when I see it, regardless of the authorship of it or who's doing it. And I'll call out bogus, hateful behavior, no matter who's saying it, or bad behavior. Guillermo, go ahead with Manchin.
Well, let me tell you what, and I think because I always wondered to myself, like, why is Alan an independent? And I think as I'm getting a little too Alan. I'm gonna be 40 in 2 years.
I just want to slap you for saying that. But you are hitting the greatest years. 40 years would be your greatest years. Go ahead.
So as I get older, and I've been involved in party politics now for a very long time, I totally see it. And I think the young generation, doesn't see it until you get involved and you're entrenched and you see how the sausage is made. I mean, you pull behind the curtain and you hear the voice of Oz there. You kind of do get, I've been on both sides. I was raised a liberal. I'm obviously conservative right now, and I've seen both ends. And I agree with you. At some point, even now, as I'm sitting on this side, I agree with you in the sense of like, man, both of these parties have it wrong. It should be more about what's best for America, what's best for individuals, so individuals succeed. So I don't fault you there. I think eventually, you'll come right back around. Right, but if you don't, it's okay.
Yeah, but what would keep me from? I think I'm already by the political analysis on both parties. I'm to the right. I just don't have a home in this sordid, grotesque, poisonous political environment that we're in right now. I've never seen it like this in our country. You've got a bunch of political perverts on both sides. And I'd say that any place, anywhere. You don't give a rat's behind about the future of this country.
But
and yet you evoke the name of Reagan, and on the left, you evoke the name of John F. Kennedy. Both two of the biggest compromisers to move the country forward that this nation has ever seen. You wash your mouth out. Like I said, Will Smith, take Reagan out of your mouth. Take John Kennedy out of your mouth. You do not, the way you're conducting yourself by refusing to talk, I mean, being bipartisan, reaching across the aisle. Do you know who Reagan spent the most time with in Washington? 8 years?
Who?
The speaker.
Dennis Hastert?
No, the speaker. Gosh, I'm drawing a blank on that. Oh, God. Anyway, a fellow Irishman. He's a Democrat, far left Democrat. He's passed on now. But he was the Speaker of the House. He was the major guy in the Republican Party. They were compromisers. You had to move the country forward.
Yeah.
You can't do that, especially in a 50-50 country. And I think with Manchin, I don't think Manchin should become a Republican.
I don't either.
Stay in the Democratic Party and change it,
Amen.
Joe.
Let me
build a coalition in that bring them back from insanity to the world of the sane. Don't let them stay in Oz any longer, because you know what? There's no Wizard of Oz. The woke ideology, the Green New Deal, it's not utopia. It's as dystopian as you can get. It's a road to absolutely ruin. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. If you're on the right, you're really happy that the candidate is not Joe Manchin or RFK, because those guys, I believe any Republican candidate, I think even Trump would have a hard time debating a Joe Manchin or an RFK. I think Trump would have problems. DeSantis would definitely have problems. I believe Tim Scott, everybody would have problems with these men, which in turn, you got to realize, like, you know what? They actually would probably be pretty damn good leaders. So you got to think about it this way, that the DNC is holding these guys back. They're holding them back for a reason. Now, Joe Manchin, from what I've heard, that man is never switching parties because his daddy was a Democrat. And it sounds to me that he's doing it because that's his family tie. And he sees the Democrat Party as his family. And he knows his family is going in a wrong direction. So the man is never going to bail from the party. This is the question.
But is it still the party? Remember Reagan?
Yeah.
You know, Reagan headed up the Screen Actors Guild. He made a great statement. I didn't leave the Democratic Party. It left me. So can't Joe make that same statement?
He can. Okay, I think with Joe, from what I've heard, I mean, he's pretty lockstep and barrel with the party. He'll go down with the ship and be a martyr, and I think he'll be happy with it. Joe Manchin, I think, is very dangerous as far as politically because of what you said. The man is a rational Democrat, and he's a man that I think could appeal to a lot of people, and so is RFK. So I would be of the opinion where if Donald Trump were extremely wise, and he tried to do this his first time around, he brought in one or two Democrats into his administration. If Donald Trump or any Republican that gets the nominee were to really be astute, they would find a place for Joe Manchin in their administration, and they would find a place for RFK, because these men are really good. Now, here's what I think Joe Manchin is doing. I think he's setting himself up for a 2028 run. Someone asked me over the weekend, I was at a gathering, and every time they see me, we got to ask you political questions. Who on the left do they have? Like, who's their golden boy? And I said, well, Gavin Newsom, but I don't think Gavin Newsom's going to have enough moxie in 2028.
Golden girl.
Or golden girl. It ain't going to be Kamala.
Now.
It ain't going to be Kamala Harris.
Or golden, non-binary individual.
Yeah, it could be, but I think there's a lane now for Joe Manchin and RFK. Maybe these men aren't necessarily running for 2024. Yeah. Maybe they're looking towards 2028.
I think, okay, here's where I think you may be. It makes a lot of sense. But I really do think there is real concern. I think that's the wrong word. I think there is a creeping understanding of certainty that Joe Biden, if elected, would not be able to serve another term. That there's question whether he's even going to be able to make it through a strenuous campaign, because they tried to hide him in the basement once. That's not going to work. It worked the first time. He has a record now. The reason he could do it before, he really didn't have a record. It was Barack Obama's record. He had plausible deniability on anything negative with Obama. Mm-hmm. Okay, and it worked. And you had the strong anti-Trump sentiment on the left. It had a big turnout. You had the the harvesting, you had the COVID stuff in place. Perfect storm to get somebody like Biden elected. I don't think, and what I think, they are so committed to getting Biden out and having somebody, whether it be Gavin Newsom, whether it be one of the governors, this governor from Washington, somebody to emerge, kind of like Clinton did. Nobody heard of Bill Clinton, the obscure governor of Arkansas back in the day. But he just kind of came up. Oh, Bill Clinton. Talked well, campaigned just incessantly, day and night. You had youth on his side. There may be somebody out there ready to step forward. Because I think if they let Joe go and he wins, and then something happens to him, which we see the decline just since he's taken office. Yeah. And this is not picking on Joe. The cognitive decline is apparent to everybody. Then you have Kamala Harris. Then you have to have a miracle happen. She's going to have to discover some inner Margaret Thatcher. I wouldn't even go that far. Some inner Hillary Clinton to be able to just, lie believably, to be articulate, and take on Southern accents that make you cringe, but at least you're not there talking about a big country invading a little country, talking like kindergartners. You're stuck with this lady who could bury the Democratic Party for decades. So that's why I think Joe Manchin he's looking around going, Gavin Newsom? I don't think so.
Agreed.
Because how do I defend Gavin Newsom? Because they're going to ask me, campaign, do you support Gavin Newsom? They're going to have to rally the whole party. Let me tell you about works in politics. I spent enough time in Washington as mayor of Fresno to know this. Even among Democrats, there's a big anti-California sentiment.
Really?
Yes. Because Hollywood, the fifth biggest economy in the world. A lot of these states run by Democrats, Washington, D.C., they don't have that.
True.
And you have this, and you look at the shape this state is in, and you have Newsom, slick, yes, this and that, but the more you open him up, the avocado looks good on the outside, looks firm, you cut it up, and it's all dark inside. That'll happen during the campaign. Guys like Joe Manchin, who really care about the country, have to say, the perfect storm has happened. I feel a calling to run.
Well, it's the same thing I told everybody about Ron DeSantis. He's the same thing as Gavin Newsom. These guys aren't ready. They're not ready for prime time.
I wouldn't say Ron DeSantis and Gavin Newsom in the same breath. He's got a record at least he can run on.
They do have good records, but campaigning-wise, they're very failed candidates.
I don't think he's failed yet. So let's bring free for all Friday on Monday.
Yeah.
I think he's making missteps. I think he's sitting pretty good. He needs a big, very optically important event. He's got to do something that people go, wow, okay. He's got to have a Reagan moment. And I think it's waiting for him if he has enough guts to do it and enough smarts. And he's a smart guy. He went to Yale. Come on, Excuse me. But I know people. I know the average voter. And Gavin Newsom has pretty much called you out, Ron DeSantis. Sean Hannity said, I want to do a debate. He's interviewing Newsom. He says, Hannity says, I want to do a debate. Newsom, I want you in it, Gavin, against DeSantis. Will you accept? Newsom never skipped a beat. Oh, yes, I will. We haven't heard from DeSantis. He needs to take that debate and roll the dice that you're going to slice and dice Gavin Newsom on prime time. Everybody would tune in on that. You have nobody tuning you in. You've got to do a pay-per-view type thing. You got to take somebody on.
He's a flawed candidate. He just can't. He's a great executive of a state that it's pretty much.
I've heard him talk.
Nah.
He's pretty good.
He doesn't have the pizzazz. Have you ever been around like a Yale or Harvard grad? This super nerdy.
Do we need pizzazz or do we need solutions for our problems?
Because
it's like, do you need a nice person or do you need somebody like Trump to solve the problems?
But you need someone.
So you pizzazz or a nice person. Those are non-substantive things.
Very true.
You need a substantive, action oriented, and that they're duplicates.
But you
they
have
both
to. You have to
action.
But you have to be. They're
not
candidate.
traditional politicians.
Yeah, well, I think Ron DeSantis is a traditional politician. I mean, he was in the House.
He takes too much. No, just because you're in the House, it doesn't mean you don't.
The man's got that establishment stank on him. He can't kick it off. He's unrelatable. He's unrelatable.
Hey, I relate to somebody who says your kids are going to go to school. I'm not going to abuse your children here in Florida that are going to go to school. I'm going to keep businesses open because I know what put foods on your table. That relates to me because I haven't had food on my table. And when that would have happened to me in one of these other states, when they bowed like little puppy dogs, and Ron DeSantis stood strong, even while Trump wasn't even saying that. Trump wasn't saying send your kids to school. He would go, yeah, they should go to school. No, he took a stance in a state. He had the authority to do it. He kept it open, kept the schools open. He says you don't have to stick something in your arm, this stuff that has not been studied. You don't have to take the jab because we don't really know what's in it. He didn't make people of Florida do that. Those are bold. I'm an action guy.
It's not as bold as
you can show me
I
pizzazz.
don't.
You can get up there, and I think Trump has both. But you can get up there and talk and spin and pizzazz all you want to. I want to see what you've done. I want to see what you've done. And a lot of things too. With Trump, I loved a lot of stuff he did, but he is as much responsible for this spending with the COVID bill that he did not have to back. They knee-jerk.
His
they
back.
panicked.
His back was against the wall, Alan.
And now you're talking that he just became a normal politician.
Well, no,
they get their back to the wall.
His
and then
back
they
was
fold.
against the wall.
Why did he fold?
I think he realized that the fragility of the American economy could have been right during COVID.
No, but
those were tough decisions
he made
to
decisions.
make.
There was no indications that the economy was doing that. There was no indications that the economy was being hurt.
Well, if you shut down, I think the indication is, man, we're going to shut down industries. We're going to tell people to stay home. People got to work.
Yeah, stay home. Yeah, I think that hurt the economy. He knew better than that.
But I think it was the decision. But he couldn't just leave it open.
He's the one that said, "How about 1,500? How about 2,500 to every family?" That fueled inflation more than anything. I still like Trump in totality, but he was wrong. That's what I'm saying. I'm a free thinker.
But it was a tough decision.
I support his border. I support his tough on crime. I support so much of what Donald Trump did. But on this, I don't. He spent like a far left liberal.
I don't think he had a choice.
You always have a choice.
You have a choice.
Otherwise, you become establishment politician.
But when you're
accusing DeSantis, DeSantis had his back to a wall.
But
they were coming at him left and right with the mainstream media.
It's a small state. Come on, it's Florida.
Florida's
is
a
small in comparison
to what?
Well, to us, to Texas, to Alaska. Granted, geographically wise, but
yeah.
But no, Ron. It was easy to do what Ron did over in Florida, as how easy it was for Gavin Newsom to do it in California. Now, if Ron DeSantis were to do that here in California, I'd be like, man, this guy's awesome. He's doing it in a state that
he wants
totally
to be president, so he can.
If he were governor of California and he did everything and was able to get everything he did in Florida across here, I'd say, man, that man's he deserves.
Do you know that Florida was a swing state before he became governor?
Yeah.
Now it's deep red because of who?
Because of Donald Trump, not because of Ron DeSantis.
Oh my God! All right, Guillermo Marino, I love you, brother.
I love you too.
Hopefully, you'll be here tomorrow, no?
Yeah,
I'll be here tomorrow. Then you'll be out the rest of the week. But catch your show today at 4:00. I love you, young brother. Jeremy, thanks for everything you do. Thank you, folks, for tuning in. God bless you. God bless America. And just do your best and let God do the rest, and everything's going to turn out fine. Love y'all. Bye bye now.